Hey, quick announcement everybody, before jumping in with the video, there's just a few more days until our giveaway is over. If you didn't get a chance to check it out, go ahead and follow the links down below to get a chance at winning the game of your choice. Again, this was organized in partnership with Instant Gaming, who is also running a Merry Christmas event. Each day there's going to be extra discounts to games, and for example, yesterday we had an extra discount to Sekiro. We also had other games like Grand Theft Auto 5, Civilization 6, as well as Battlefield 5, Watch Dogs 2, Diablo 3, and yeah, quite a lot of them. Go ahead and check out the links in the description if you want to get some really awesome discounts. Hey, what's up everybody, Crazy here, back into Borderlands with the brand new DLC. The MOXXI'S Heist dropped yesterday, and it actually contains quite a lot of content, a lot of new ways of acquiring loot, but even more important, there's a ton of new items that have been added in the game, class mods, weapons, and everything else in between, some of which are actually extremely powerful. So in this video, I'm kinda going to go over a full rundown of the best ways you can make the most out of the brand new content, and this will also include some of the best ways to farm legendaries, get a ton of money, as well as Iridium, and also some not so great ones that I'm going to quickly go over, since you might not want to spend too much time and money on these otherwise. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up on it would be super appreciated, and let's get started. Now, one of the first things that you will encounter as soon as you get into the DLC and in the new casino map, you're going to see some of these VIP rooms. There's a bunch of them scattered all over the map. As a matter of fact, there's at least a few of these for each individual map subsection. Now, at first I thought that these would be worth it, so I kind of went out of my way to find most of them, but unfortunately they aren't as rewarding as I hoped them to be. I mean, you can find a couple of things in them. First of all, you can find these weapon cabinets, and they can definitely spawn some legendaries, though the chance is extremely small. As a matter of fact, out of the 15 that I was able to find, I only got legendaries a couple of times, so yeah, the drop chance is really small. They also cost money to unlock, so if you want to open these VIP doors, it costs you quite a lot of money. In my case, $71,000 to do so. There is one VIP room that in my opinion is worth opening, and I'm going to touch that when I'm going to go over the mini bosses in this game and the secret ones. But yeah, otherwise these aren't really that worth it unless you really want to complete that challenge. But even in that case, you can open the same door over and over again by simply reloading your save file, as these fully replenish. It's just that it's going to cost you quite a bit of money to do that. But now let's move over to some content that is actually worth doing, and that is of course the bonus missions that you will see popping up all over the map. As a matter of fact, there's quite a few of these throughout the entire map, and you can encounter them at various stages throughout the story DLC, but I definitely recommend you going ahead and actually completing them. There's a bunch of characters in here that are definitely very awesome, and they are also quite rewarding. They will definitely give you some items that it seems you can't get otherwise. It seems that there are some unique items that you can only get by completing these missions. For example, I was able to complete this mission right here with the secret lab that involved me killing some robots, and at the end of it I got the Melt Facer, which is an epic shotgun, but an otherwise pretty powerful one, and you will find quite a few of these epics in here, some of which can definitely feel quite powerful. Also, this is the only way in which you can encounter certain mini bosses or secret encounters. For example, I did a sequence of missions for Digby in the Spendopticon, and at the end of the third one I got to encounter Steel Dragon of Eternal Pain, which is a boss that I didn't manage to encounter otherwise. I also got the chance to fight the Debt Collector, and he was at the end of Sisterly Love, also in the same area. It seems that both of these guaranteed dropped legendaries. I don't think they have specialized loot or anything, but they do seem to drop items from the loot pool of new items that have been added in the DLC, so these are definitely worth it. Moving on to number 3, let's talk quickly about the challenges, because these are extremely rewarding. There are 3 types of challenges that you can do in the story DLC. One of them is for the mayor, the second one is for Amber, and the third one is for the Torg marketing mistake. So the Amber one and the Torg marketing mistake are pretty straightforward. In the case of the Torg marketing mistake, all you need to do is to find these bottles and pop them. It's simple as that. They tend to explode quite a bit, so there's quite a huge area of effect in which they explode, but they didn't seem to deal any damage to me. There's already guides out there where you can find these, as these are scattered throughout the entire map, so I'm not going to cover that in this video. But if you do break all of them and complete the challenge, you're going to get an email with this gun right here, the Burning Scoville or whatever. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but it looks pretty much like this. It's a pretty good pistol, as a matter of fact. It has a huge damage of almost 3000 per bullet, and because it has a rather decent magazine size and a high rate of fire, you can actually spam these explosive bullets. The second specialized weapon that you can get from the challenge is from Amber's challenge, the Pieces of Resistance, and this is the Stark Ember's Purge. It looks exactly like this with the same fire skin effect on it, and it is actually quite decent, though I am not entirely sure how much more powerful this is compared to the pistol, though it does have a huge rate of fire, a pretty sizable magazine size, and it also comes with the Incendiary Elemental, exactly like the previous gun. So yeah, just for the uniqueness of these guns, you will definitely want to do these, especially since these challenges are very easy to complete. Again, if you want to find ways to complete these challenges, doing the DLC, just playing through the missions, you will see these. These are not really that hidden, and you can easily find them. This brings us to the third challenge, and in my opinion the more important one, which is the Mayor challenge. And the challenge itself doesn't give you that much stuff. I mean, it gives you some cosmetics, they are definitely very awesome, but most important of them all, throughout these challenges you will encounter some mini bosses, and these mini bosses can drop some specialized loot, some of which can be extremely powerful. The first one is Evil Saint Lawrence, which can be found in the Spendopticon region in the Market District, and he can be found right here on this part of the map. It seems that, at least in my case, he didn't drop anything too specialized, but he did have a high chance of dropping class mods. It seems that he drops at least a couple of these each time I ran it, so yeah, if you want to get some of the brand new class mods, this is a rather decent and good source of getting them. The second one is the Goat Eater. He can be found in the Vice District, also in the Spendopticon, in this pool right here with the Handsome Jack statue sitting over there, but he does have a chance to drop the Creamer RPG. In my case, he even dropped 3 at the same time on one occasion, and he can also drop further class mods if you also want to hunt for them. So it seems that he might have some specialized loot, though I am not 100% sure of it. But yeah, you can go ahead and try it if you want to get some of that sweet creamers. The third one can be found in the Impound Deluxe region, and he is Dazzle. It's this bot right here, and the way you'll want to do this is to pull him away from the area he spawns into, because if he dies, his loot might spawn behind the black wall. So just try to stay behind one of these walls on either of the sides, and he will actually come out, and you can then further proceed to kill him. He has a high chance to drop the slow hand shotgun, which made a return from Borderlands 2, and it's actually quite a powerful one. In my case, I got this one right here, and it actually has quite a high rate of fire. It shoots a lot of these frozen bullets, so it was actually really easy for me to both deal damage to the enemies as well as freezing them up really fast, even on Mayhem 4 and against robotic enemies. This brings us to the number 4, which is Gorgeous Armada, and he is located in this VIP room I was talking about earlier in the video. This is the only VIP room that in my opinion is kind of worth it, because you can also get that chest over there as well as Armada himself, though in my case he didn't drop anything too special. He did have a chance to drop random legendaries from the loot pool, so at the very least he is worth it for that reason and because he is part of the VIP room. But do pay attention that he might only spawn after you complete the DLC story. In my case, it didn't spawn at first when I encountered the VIP room, but he did get to spawn after I finished the entire story DLC. So I'm not entirely sure exactly from what point he started to spawn, but that is what happened in my case. The fifth and final one, also part of the Mayor challenge, is Loco Chantal, and he can be found in the VIP tower. The reason you'll want to farm this is because he drops the Nukem rocket launcher. As a matter of fact, it's not even much of a farm because every other run he seems to be dropping it, so there's quite a high chance to do that. But the Nukem rocket launcher is actually really powerful and also very explosive, I might say. It has by far the largest explosion of all the weapons currently in the game, at the very least from my knowledge, and he kind of drops these mini nukes. When you shoot it, it drops these mini nukes. They can deal quite a lot of damage. I've seen as high as 500k, maybe even more than that, depends on the weak points that you hit. It's a little bit imprecise because it doesn't exactly land on your crosshair, so you kind of need to adjust it, but otherwise it's pretty spectacular to look at, and he does drop it really often. The beauty about this is that you can farm this one and then go a little bit further away where you will actually encounter a boss, and from this point on I'm going to go over a couple of methods that can be considered spoilery, as these are towards the end of the DLC, so proceed at your own caution. But here goes the next one, which is Freddy. You can encounter him right after Loco Chantal, and he actually is super easy. There's a ton of bots over there, a lot of lower bots that spawn near him, so you can also farm these. They are definitely a good source of legendaries, but Freddy does seem to have a high chance to drop at least a handful of legendaries, so you can easily farm him. You can start with the save point right behind him, start with Loco Chantal, and then go on to Freddy and do this over and over again. The area is really small and you can get all of these legendaries really easily, and this is why this is probably the second best method of making legendaries and earning the new items in the new DLC. This brings us to the last and final method, which is also the last encounter in the game. Again, huge spoilers for those who didn't manage to finish the DLC. I'm going to try to not spoil the boss fight itself and actually only show the drops and what you can do in order to actually farm these battles. So the thing is that once you finish this end boss, you will get quite a lot of items from him. It seems that he majorly favors class mods, so if you want to hunt for these, this is probably the best method in the game because he drops at least 2 or 3 of these at the same time. But once you do defeat him, there's going to be a back door that opens behind the area you fight him in, and here is where you will find Jack's secret room. And the beauty about this is that it's absolutely filled with cash. You will make at least a few $100,000 just by going in and picking it off the floor. There's also a ton of weapon crates that you can open, including 2 that are red chests, so these all have a chance to actually spawn legendaries, and there's also an iridium chest at the end of it that you can open and also get some of this iridium. But the beauty about this is that you can reset this entirely, including the boss and the secret room, and repeat it over and over again to get all of this loot, all of this cash, and all of this iridium. As a matter of fact, I would say that this is by far the best method of acquiring new legendaries out of the entire DLC. Of course, this doesn't mean that these are all the methods currently in the game. There's definitely a couple of them in there as well. A lot of secret bosses, a lot of other bosses that you can encounter, but I'm going to cover them when I'm going to cover the weapons that drop from these. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.